Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Just Sayin. Thank you. Wow, it's been 6 months. It has been 6 months since I've sat at this desk every day of my life, but in the last 6 months, it's the first time on camera. And don't worry, I'm going to fill you all in on everything that's been going on in my life. I have made some major decisions in regards to the future of the show that I am going to give you guys today. I have a huge announcement to make that might make you cry, because let me tell you, I'll probably be crying as I'm talking about it. And then I'm going to touch on a little topic, well, not so little of a topic, but a major topic that's going on in this country right now that I need to start spreading the news, as old Blue Eyes would say. And if you don't know who old Blue Eyes is, Google it. It's Frank Sinatra, people. Anyway, I think. I was hoping not to say it in case I was wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Frank Sinatra. Anyway. Yeah, so I know at some point you'll be crying. I assume. Oh, well, you know what happens when you assume. So let's just keep the flow of the show going by asking the question I pose at the beginning of every one of my episodes. What am I drinking? And on the show today, what kind of a show would it be? Especially a special edition without a Mountain Dew. So, there's that. Who's been sitting at my desk? Because I don't drink water. And there's a water bottle at my desk. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to throw up behind me like I did in every rehearsal. But my dog, of course, has to be sleeping here right now. And so I can't. So we should have just scrapped that bit, because it wasn't funny to begin with. It was his idea. If it's funny in the show today, it's my idea. If it's not, it was Producer Man's idea. So, without further ado, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I do have a couple of interesting news stories that I do want to share with you. So, it's time for the rundown. I still don't know why those heads are upside down. Oh well. So here's the first rundown story, and let me tell you, after this, I am no longer promoting Twitter or X or whatever it's called. My show will not be posted on there. I will not be posting anything on there. Elon Musk has a child who has recently come out as transgender, and Elon Musk was quoted in saying that his child is dead to him, and that and I quote, woke culture killed his child, end quote. It's not a switch that you just turn on and off. It's not a fad that someone goes through. It's a huge life-changing, even, obviously, transitioning from male to female or female to male is a huge, huge undertaking. Not only mentally, but obviously physically, and not just hard on them, but it's got to be hard on everybody, and that's why you have a support system. That's what your family is supposed to be for. Not to be kicked out of your family because of who you are. And it's ridiculous. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. And you shouldn't be a parent. I never liked Elon Musk from the very beginning when his name first popped up. And I didn't know why, but there was something about him I just didn't like, and apparently that's what it was. He's a huge homophobe. And I don't care if any of his people, who probably will never see this episode or see this video, but I hope they do, and I hope that they see me call him a homophobe, because that's what he is. And I hope so many other people will pull themselves away from him. He is going to be, and I hate to say this because when I made my predictions about Trump, they all came true. He's going to be the next Donald Trump. I guarantee it. One of these days, he will be running this country. Or be running to run this country. And it's disgusting. It's I will actually move to Canada if he ever becomes president, which I know we all said that when Trump did, but it really wasn't. Besides all the drama, it really wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. Anyway, but I didn't say that out loud. I'll get to Trump later on in the show. Just a touch on Trump just a little bit. And Kamala. So here's another funny story. When I first saw this picture, I'm like, what in the world is that? Is that like a new game or something? No, it's $1 million worth of cocaine that washed up on shore in Florida after Hurricane Debbie. A good Samaritan, as they said on the TMZ story I read, found it washed up on shore, called the authorities, and they have, I can't remember how many pounds they said, but I do remember they said it was over $1 million in. Authorities said 25 packages valued at more than $1 million were found by a Good Samaritan. And where's the first picture? 100 pounds of cocaine. 100 pounds of cocaine. And they say that we only go there to sit on the white sandy beaches. It's not sand, people. It's cocaine. And my phone's not acting right now. There we go. There we go. Sorry, as you can tell, that story was not prepared. I read that story this morning and put it in the news stories. But here's my favorite story, besides where to get free cocaine after a hurricane. And I cannot believe how much attention this story is getting. The alphabet song that we have grown to love is no more. And fun fact, 2 weeks ago when this story came out, I'm going to tell you how stupid I am right now. I never realized I never realized that the alphabet song was to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I'm watching the video of, I heard this story and I'm watching the video of this story, and the lady that's telling the news story mentions that it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I'm like, holy hell! I never knew that! Oh, Lord. What it's like to be up here. Oh, anyway, so yeah, the alphabet song has changed. Still set to the tune that I didn't know of, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But kids are apparently going into school thinking that there's an extra letter between Y and Z, and because they think that LMNOP is one letter. Now, I understand and I like the new song. I hate the new ending, but I like the song and how they broke it down. But I'm almost 42 years old, and I know my alphabet just fine. Every classroom I was ever in had it around the top of the room, near the ceiling. And I could always tell that there was no letter between Y and Z, and I could tell that L, M, N, O, P are individual letters. Plus, it's really cute to hear a child try and say N, N, M, O, P. And that's when you realize they were trying to say, I need to go pee. Producer man joke. Anyway. So yeah, we all know the old song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? Or instead of me, because I can't sing. But this is the way the new song is written. Or the new song is sang. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I never will forget how to sing my alphabet. So I understand it. It breaks it down. I understand it. Every letter is individualized. I get it. But I also learned my alphabet with the old song. It's called learning in school. Just saying. Comment below, what do you think of the new alphabet song? I think they need to quit changing everything because we made it by just fine. And fun fact, I was watching one of my episodes back just about a month ago, and it was an episode where I was talking, we had done it back in my day, and was talking about toys and stuff, and about how I said something about all my toys in my generation were the best. And I'm not just making that up now, and it's not just a statement. It's a fact because they're bringing toys back from my generation, thank you. They're more popular now than I think they were then. Like, they're bringing back the Tamagotchi. The Gigapet. Awesome. That's because my generation was the best. I don't care what generation I actually am considered. I think I'm a millennial. Am I? Gen Z? I don't know. Anyway. So, get that off the screen. I was going to try and figure out what segment to put this next thing that I'm going to talk about into, and it's basically where I've been for the last 6 months. And I really couldn't fit it into a category, so I was just like, you know what? It's going to be my host chat. So, buckle up. You're in for a really bumpy ride, because I've got like 5 stories for you all rolled into one. Trust me. I had to write a note card, and I really never write note cards anymore. They just normally say stuff like the name of the segment I'm doing. But no, I have to actually write notes on note cards so that I make sure I cover everything. And Producer Man makes fun of me for it all the time. So, if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, would I ever be filming my show again? Because somebody did ask me. I said no. As of 3 weeks ago, I was done with this show. And it has nothing, obviously, to do with you guys. Thank you so much for watching over the years and over the 11 seasons, because we're pretending season 12 never even happened. But thank you for watching over the last 11 years. 11 seasons over the last 5 years. Almost 5 years. It has been amazing to come out and have fun and do something I've always wanted to do. And with someone that I've always wanted. This is going to totally sound like we're dating. Obviously we're not, because he's married and has 2 kids, 1 on the way. A 3rd on the way, I should say. You know what causes that, right? Okay. Anyway, and doing something I love to do with someone I love doing stuff with. But here's what happened. So it kind of all started for me in December. I had gone to a new store. The last time before I went into the hospital, I was in management, and then had a nervous breakdown, got out of management, started in management again, and kind of started spiraling again. There's just a lot of added stress when you're in management, and it was getting to a point where my circadian rhythm was off. I was taking my medication, but I was sleeping during the day, working and staying up at night, and I was literally home sleeping or working. And what really kind of made the depression start was when I realized how badly I was performing for you guys. When I started season 12, even the first episode was late. I mean, I never got the rhythm back for some reason. And I started thinking, I'm doing the same shit every episode. It's starting to get boring. I'm not even enjoying it anymore. I'm just done. All my episodes are coming out late. People are going to stop wanting to watch. Nothing that I have said over the last 11 seasons that was going to happen has happened. I don't need the added stress right now. And I just quit the show. I was rather lay on my couch and feel sorry for myself than do something about it. While all of that turmoil in my brain was going on and how horrible at doing this show I am, Excuse me. I lost my job. I'm pausing here because I'm trying to think, how far do I want to take this story? Because I don't have proof as to what happened. And yes, what I did was wrong. Totally holding myself accountable for it. Everyone that works for that company does what I did. And the person who said they never wanted my position now has my position, and ironically is the same person who is the only other person that would work that got scheduled with the store manager, became besties, and now has my old position. So you can't make me think otherwise that this wasn't a big elaborate setup. However, like I said, what I did was wrong. I gave them a great reason to fulfill what they were trying to do, which was get me out. And I walked right into it. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay? And that happened right around the time that I was just like, screw it, I'm done with the show. I was starting to resent doing this show. And I never wanted to get it to that point. I was making it more of a, I need to get this done instead of I want to get this done. And there's a huge difference. And which producer man helped me figure out. But while all of this was going on, at the beginning of season 12 that never happened, I mentioned to you guys during Dating 101 that I was in a relationship for the last 5 years. Not anymore. And this all happened, I lost my job, mutually broke up with E, and was performing horribly on this show all at the same time. And so it just kind of all boggled down, and I'm like, screw it, I'm over life. Goodbye. I'm done with the show. Whatever. So the third story I'm telling you is the breakup story. So E is what his name begins with, and that's all you're going to know. Is originally from a country where, and I'm not going to tell you the country, but you'll figure it out as I'm telling you this story. Because, well, if you don't know what's going on in this country right now, not this country, but his country, you've been living under a rock for 3 years. So, E lives in another country where it is illegal to be gay, frankly. And E was here in the States, in the area, for a job. We met. Things hit it off. We started dating. And twice a year, E goes back to their country to see their family. However, the week after he left, a war broke out, caused by the country he's from in another country. If that makes any sense, follow my path, okay? I'm sure you know what country it is I'm talking about right now. But I'm not trying to obviously get him in trouble. So we kind of just waited it out, played around, but not played around, obviously. We played it out, let's just see what happens. We didn't think it would be this long. Well, the goal and what we had planned on was that he would be back in this country by the end of the calendar year this year. And that would be that. However, amongst all of this time, his dad got sick. His dad owns a business, and he was supposed to take his brother, who is 10, I think, cutest kid I've ever seen in my life, is going to run the business when he becomes of age, which I think in that country is 21 or 25. I can't remember. But for the story purposes, let's say it's 25. So in order to not to be able to keep it in the family so that his younger brother can take over, E was going to have to run the business for 15 years, which means he was going to have to stay there for another 15 years. And so, I mean, if it were by the end of this year or the end of next year, then his brother could take over. Great. We were going to... I can't wait around for 15 years. I'm not expecting you to wait around for 15 years. I'm not going to make you do that. So we just kind of mutually decided, you know what, let's just be friends. If he does make it back sooner, we'll see what happens. About 2 weeks after that, of course, the mutual breakup is hitting me. I don't have a job, that's hitting me. I'm laying around because I'm depressed. And we're talking, E and I are talking online. He's like, oh, and just nonchalantly as ever agrees with Elon Musk and apparently is not gay anymore. So, regardless if he was going to come back at the end of this year, it was going to be over anyway. So then I was just like, oh great, you know, I'm so just done. Like, apparently it is a switch. I don't know. So needless to say, I'm single. I've been on dating apps. I'm on dating apps. If you want to date me. I'm old. And in the last 3 weeks... Nope, I'm not going to get that far yet. That'll be in the next topic. But I'm sitting there, and I'm laying on the couch, and I'm feeling depressed. And producer man comes over one day, and this was probably March-ish, because that all happened in the month of February. March rolls around, and I'm still depressed, want nothing to do with the show. I'm so mad at myself because I was doing so horribly. It made me resent this show. I didn't even want to talk about my show. And even though I was so proud of what I had done before. And so producer man comes over. He's like, get up. We're working on the show. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing the show. I'm done with the damn show. Like, I'm not good at it. Or I would have more followers right now. And I am, because of that, it's getting in my head. And I'm thinking how horrible the show is. And there's just no point in it. It's not going to do anything. And he's like, he looks at me and he goes, was your goal in doing this show to actually make a career out of it? I said, no. He said, then why are you so upset by it? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you do this, why did you start this show? I said, to get my mind off of COVID. And because I was sitting around in my house all day and had nothing better to do. And he's like, it also got your mind, it took your mind off of all of your problems when we were together working on the show. He's like, it's like you're in an element when you do your show. You're just totally a different person when you're in your show. And I know that that's what makes you happy. And I was like, nope, I'm done with the show. He dropped the discussion for a few months because he knows that if he keeps shoving something, this is not going to sound right, but I don't mean it that way. If he keeps shoving something down my throat, I'm gonna resist it even more. And I didn't mean for that to sound that way. But that's besides the point. And so we're sitting around one night, and I wish I had taken a picture to send it to people to tell this story to. And I'm sitting outside with my dog, and I wish I would have kept the picture and put it in here. I'm sitting outside with my dog, and today is August 18th. It's the day after my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, sister, Mary Lou. And my nephew, who we're going to call Fred. I don't know why it's so hard for me just to pop a name into my head. We're going to call him Fred. We're going to call him Fred. But Fred, totally forgot where I was going with this. Oh, and Fred's birthday was a couple of days ago, so happy birthday to you. as well as the anniversary of my mom's death. And I was just kind of really depressed. We're currently in the timeline of the story, not to the anniversary of my mom's death. We're probably, which is August 11th, we're probably like middle of July in time frame of this story. No, probably middle of June. No, April. Sorry, I'm trying to think back, and it's not working. Because obviously this isn't scripted. So why would I have known this stuff before? Because I knew I was going to talk about it. So about in April-ish, producer man comes over again, and, well, he had been coming over. And he's like, all right, let's work on the show. I said, no, I'm not doing the show anymore. Stop. And then he smacked me across the face. And he's like, dude, do you really want people to think that you came out on this show, talked about your mental health issues, talked about spiraling out of control, proud of who you became, and you started doing this show to prove to people that it doesn't matter what people think of you doing something like this. And who cares if I look stupid? You enjoy doing it. I'm like, I know. So I was like, okay, you know what? Just to appease you, I am going to do an episode where I come out and I'll tell everybody what's going on in my life, and then I'm done. I said, if that's what you want, fine. So we started working on a show. We were starting to put together a show, a farewell show, and producer man was right. I enjoyed. When I sat down and got into my mode of doing my show again, I really enjoyed it. And so, fast forward to, we'll say a couple of days before the anniversary of my mom's death. I'm sitting outside with my dog, and who, after the bit of throwing the bottle where I couldn't throw it, has since moved. Anyway, I'm sitting outside with my dog, and I'm really depressed. The anniversary of my mom's death is coming up, and I'm kind my dad and one of my sisters, Betty Sue, Fred, and two of my other nephews were in Alaska, which is exactly where they were, when the doctor told us to call the family 2 years prior when my mom was dying. And so it set a whole roller coaster of emotions going through. And I'm sitting outside one day and I'm crying, and is Mom happy with me? Like, I've let myself down, I've let my viewers down. Have I let my mom down? Does my mom still love me? Is my mom still proud of me? And as I'm sitting out there, Teaser does something I don't know, and I just kind of chuck my lighter into the rocks right over here. And as I reach over to grab it, pause that story. Rewind, well, at least 15 years. When my grandma lived in the same exact building I live in. And she used to have the most hideous stepping stone that was outside of her house for all the years that she lived at this house. And so shortly after she died, the next tenants that came in accidentally broke the stepping stone. Thank God. And was shattered. Okay, fine. So fast forward to the story I was just telling you. I fling my lighter into the rocks, and I bend over to pick it up, and I see a little piece of rock that is from that stepping stone that was broken 15 years ago. And on it, the only word on the rock was every day. And so, to me, that was, you know what? My mom is giving me a sign that I need to go back to doing what I love doing. My mom was proud of me. But is she proud of me just sitting around and moping and feeling bad for myself? No. How could anyone be proud of that? You'd have to be proud of yourself for doing something. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. We're doing the show again. So I call producer man. And I'm like, come on over, let's work on this special edition episode, and we'll discuss maybe doing future seasons. He's like, okay. And I told him what happened when he got here, and then he smacked me across the face, because that's what he does. And then I smacked him because he smacked me, and we just kind of stood there smacking each other for a few minutes. And then we got back to work. But we have come to some decisions about the show. And here's where I might get a little emotional. But before I get there, let me tell you another quick thing. Amongst all of my... Back in April, amongst all of my depression and stuff, I was talking to my sister, Betty Sue, and she was like, do you remember when you were the happiest? I was like, no. I said, if you're talking pre-hospital day, no, I don't know. Like, I haven't been happy in forever. And she goes, the last time I remember seeing you, the Josh that I remember seeing happy as I've ever seen Josh happy, was when you were in EMS, when you were in the medical field. So I kind of let that sit. I let it marinate. I am now 10 weeks into a 25-week program. Well, I take that back. Next week will be 10 weeks. Well, tomorrow will be 10 weeks. I'm 10 weeks into a 25-week program where I am in a medical assisting program. It's a 2-year course that's condensed into 25 weeks. So as producer man and I are sitting here thinking about the show and do I want to continue it and working on doing what was going to be this episode, I was like, we have to keep this stuff in mind, because literally right now, if I'm not at school Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2, I'm home doing homework. I have a pile of homework and a 10-page report that I have to write, which isn't due till Wednesday. But I still have to, I'm halfway done with it. I still have to write it. I've done nothing this weekend. But work on this show. Anyway, so he was like, okay, well, after you get done with schooling, would you want to continue the show? I was like, I don't know. Let me focus on getting done with school, and I'll let you know. And he's like, okay, but let's do this. At least do this episode we're planning right now, and do a birthday show. Give me at least that. Let that be your present to me on my birthday. Which his birthday's already passed and he already got a present. So I don't know what the point of that was. But I digress. So I was like, fine. We'll give you a birthday show. So September 30th, which is a Monday, I will be posting my 42nd birthday show. And yes, producer man is making me say that again. So look forward to that. As we are discussing the future of this show, I was like, okay, well then my birthday episode can be the final show. He's like, I know that's not what you want. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I know you are enjoying doing this show right now. You want to do more episodes. I'm like, yeah, but I have so much going on right now. And he's like, well, what about after school? Once you have everything hunky-dory, you've got a job, a career, all of that, you'll have a Monday through Friday job. You'll have time, 9 to 5. You'll have time after work. You'll have time on the weekends. You'll have time again. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. So we have decided... Wrong button. We have decided I'm coming back. Probably February-ish is what I'm thinking, because that's when I graduate. Starting December 16th, I have 10 weeks of externing I have to do, which you can get done in 5 weeks, and that's what I'm hoping to do, so I can get a job sooner, and so that I can maybe get back to having a normal life sooner. So I am coming back. The idea at first was to do one episode a month. I think I'm going to do it all year long. But I think I'm going to do what I was doing with 10 episodes a season, only 2 seasons a month, taking the summer off. And yeah, the show is coming back. So I'm really excited about it. However, there's huge changes coming to the show that are not going to make everybody happy. And the first thing I want to say on that regard is that, much like this episode, I've said from the very beginning that I never have done this show to offend anybody. I have never done this show political topics besides rundown stories. I've never actually just had a segment of political stuff. You don't know how many things in this world that have gone on since I've started this show, from mass shootings to Trump's stupidity while he was in office to other things that I have episodes filmed, special editions that I've never posted because I never wanted to take the show political. But politics are such a huge thing right now, and they are such a huge hot topic for everybody that, and I'm going to cover it more here in a moment, once I finally decide to end this little spiel. But I am going to bring politics into my show. And I'm thinking maybe one episode a season, maybe just one episode a year. I can't really promise. I can't really say, because hypothetically speaking, and I'm not wishing it upon anyone, but if there's a mass shooting and it bothers me, and it's my way of voicing my opinion, or it's my way of dealing with the stress of whatever event happened, I'm going to do a show on it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I have a right to have my opinion. I have a platform to voice my opinion, and I'm going to use it. And I posted something on Facebook that the first sentence on my post was, after you read this, if you want to unfriend me here or in real life, block me, whatever you want, I don't care. I have a right to have my opinion. I would love to invite guests on the show for a political episode and just discuss things. That's what I see for this show. And I see doing other segments as well. Obviously, it's not going to be all political. Some segments will be going by the wayside. Which brings me to another point that producer man and I are kind of discussing, is doing an episode every now and then until January, when I have free time, until I start my new season, with doing segments that we're not going to do anymore. Because a lot of the segments, like I've mentioned, I'm trying to narrow down the scope of what I'm considering in each segment. And now that I'm been doing this for 11 seasons, I'm starting to see and use the same pictures. And so a lot of things have to go by the wayside and maybe come out and do my favorite ones of that segment. I don't know. We haven't really worked that out. But I will say it's a great time to do what I said at the end of every one of my shows and get the notifications, because you never know when I'm going to post something. When we get back into seasons, it's going to be the same day every week, but now I don't even know when I'm going to be doing them. So definitely turn on those notifications, and I'll remind you at the end of the show like I always do. But so yeah, the show is coming back. There's going to be a little bit of difference in the show. I'm not saying a new format, or a new name, but it's going to be a different show, a different vibe to the show. And hopefully, before I come back in 2025, I will have my house the way that I want my house, and my studio set up the way I want it. And maybe you'll get a different view of my house. You saw that wall, you're seeing this wall. I do have 4 walls of a house. Just saying. Might get to see another wall. I might finally get the green screen working. Who knows? I don't. I might learn editing. You never know. With all of that said, As I tell you that the show is coming back, I also have to tell you that, and this is where I'm going to get emotional, this is Producer Man's final episode. And I'm not emotional because he's leaving the show. I'm emotional because he is leaving the area. And it's not just that he got a promotion and is going to be busy anymore, or more busier than before. He accepted a job in another state and has to move. And even though I have always said that the show is mine, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that obviously you guys don't know. According to what we wanted you to know, Producer Man, no, I'm not going to tell you that Producer Man and I are really dating in real life. No, it's not going to happen. Even though everybody thinks we are, it's not happening. He's married, got 2 kids, 1 on the way, and he's moving to California. It's not going to happen. Even though I would love to move to California. Need to live in nanny? No? Okay. But this whole concept of doing this show was his idea from the very beginning. And his concept in doing the show, he couldn't do the show himself because he was on a podcast and had a bunch of other stuff going on. He always wanted me, because I've known him forever. Well, not ever, but I've known him for a long time, and he knows that how I sit and I can talk about a topic and show you emotion and show you funny things and come up with stuff on the fly, ad-lib jokes all the time that I do every episode. Even though when I first started, I scripted them all. I'd never used what I scripted and made them up as I filmed. So I was just like, screw the scripts. I never stick to them anyway. Yet I write them. But whatever. He always wanted just me to do the show. But I was like, no, it's not something I would be good at. I said, I can sit and read a news story and I can discuss that news story. But doing little segments and skits and bits, and it's not going to happen. I said, if that's the case, I want to hide behind co-hosts and not. But then as I started doing the show by myself during COVID, I was like, you know what? I'd like doing this. And even though as much as I hate admitting it, Producer Man was right. It was, I feel that this show wouldn't be what it is if I had brought in the co-hosts. And while I don't mind having people come on and guest on my show and have a panel and have a topic and have a discussion, I don't think this show could have a co-host with the direction that he initially wanted the show to go, and I was hesitant in doing it. I just needed to trust him and trust myself. And you showed me that. And I know for a fact that if it weren't for you, this show wouldn't be here. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be here. Not just doing the show, not just in this apartment, but I mean here. Ever since I started doing this show, I told you guys about my friend Mitchell. And in the very, very first episode, I told you about how a friend came over and slapped me across the face. It was Producer Man. He likes to slap me for some reason. But he's always right. I mean, he's a little bit younger than I am. But, I mean, he's just one of those, like, listen to what I'm saying, even though I know you don't. Like, he's like my dad. As much as that creeps me out, he's like my dad. Like, my dad's smart. My dad knows the point he's trying to make. And as much as I kick and fight and scream and argue and rebel and do what I want to do, it always ends up what he had planned the whole time. I just had to find my way to do it. And if it meant me coming on here and saying I've got co-hosts and not ever having them show up, there's a reason. I mean, the show ended up working out. Yeah, we changed the name, we changed the format, we changed the concept from what I wanted to what he initially wanted. And then that's kind of when he joined the show after he gave me the microphone. But yeah, so And then his show went down the tubes, and this one was not down the tubes, but his podcast ended. And it was kind of already like he was the masked man behind the scenes, and we kind of didn't want to reveal that because that was part of the show. And while I'm not going to sit here and reveal what he looks like because that would ruin the whole show, it's more fun to make you guess, I think. No? Anyway. So yeah, Producer Man's final episode. He will still be a part of the show when I need him and call and have questions for him, but I am looking for a new producer that I will never call Producer Man. I'll have to think of a new nickname. I don't know. Dumb shit? I don't know. So if you're interested and you live in the area and you have ideas and know how to edit or something you can even show me, which is a lot in this, in doing this, there's a lot I don't know. Please email me. Let me know. I can't afford to pay you unless you are okay with a penny a day, a penny an episode. It's about what I can offer you. Maybe 2 pennies once I get a job, at least for a while. Then it'll be bump up to 3, and that's 3 pennies more than Producer Man gets because this was his show. I'm just sitting on the camera. But I will miss you. And I'm talking about show-wise right now. I will miss you. Thank you for showing me and guiding me to do what I love doing, which is this. And as on the friend level, you know I love you like a brother. I'll miss you. But you can't get rid of me forever. So either I'm going to end up moving to you or you're going to have to come back. Because you know we can't not be together. I mean, during COVID, we were breaking the law and hanging out. So, anyway, so back to happier things. But as I said, this is Producer Man's final episode, and it's not going to turn around and not going to happen. He's already kind of gone there for training, and which is another reason we had to kind of push back doing this show. We wanted to do the show back in. I don't even know. August, I don't even know July. We wanted to do a 4th of July show. But obviously that didn't happen. But anyway, so you're still around for now. You just won't have anything to do with the show anymore. Especially when you leave for California. But anyway, we'll talk more, obviously, at the end of the show. So let me get into the big thing as to what's going on in the world right now. And I'm going to try and make this short because that whole spiel took a lot longer than I thought. My goal is 1 hour, and we're already at 48 minutes. And I have a little surprise coming up that I still have to get to. So, I digress. I'm going to really shorten what I'm about to say, and that's go vote. I had a big long spiel that I was going to talk about and show you both sides of each argument and how the hate in this country is just getting under my skin, and people and parents like Elon Musk are just ruining. You wonder why there's problems with the mental health in this country, and it's because of psychotic parents like Elon Musk. Or the story I told you when I worked at the CBD store and the guy called and asked, and he was my first ever douchebag award winner. Yeah. Asked if there was CBD to ungay his child. And then called 3 other stores asking the same question. So it wasn't just a prank call. Anyway. So I don't care what side of the aisle you vote on. Go vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. Go to vote.org. Make sure you're registered. If not, get registered. Obviously, it's free. Here's my thing that I will say quickly, explain what I mean, and then move on. Because I don't want to get into another 45-minute long discussion. Because I have a lot of other... Well, not a lot. But I have other things to do in this episode. And I'm already 10 minutes away from wanting to be done. So, or from my goal of wanting to be done. If If you come to me and we have a discussion, or we start a discussion, a political discussion, and you're complaining about how the country is, and you're Republican and it's a Democrat in office, great. I don't care. Let's have a discussion. If you come to me and say, I didn't vote, but our country sucks, and the person running it is the stupidest person alive, and then I don't want to hear your shit. You had a chance to voice your opinion. And while it might be you're written on a piece of paper or on a computer screen, wherever you vote, however they have you vote, you're getting to say your opinion. It may not seem like it, but you pick a representative to represent your thoughts, your opinions, your beliefs. Whoever that may be, I don't care. Whether it be Kamala or Trump or Mickey Mouse, who I've even voted for a few times. I mean, there's been a dog as a mayor of a city somewhere that I just heard about for like 20 years. Because no one wants to run against a dog. And the dog will probably bite you. But I digress. So all I ask is that you go to vote.org, find out if you're registered to vote. If not, please register to vote. I will have more of what I hoped to say in this episode on my birthday episode, which is closer to the election, which is probably even better that I'm putting it off. But hopefully, that was kind of cool. You will do that, and because I'm not going to sit here and have a panel of people and be like, but I didn't vote, but here's what I think they need to do. Then I don't want to hear what you think, because you had a chance to say what you thought, and you didn't do it. So, tough shit. That's all I got to say. So, as I said, I may have a little surprise right now. And as I bid you guys all farewell until my birthday episode, and then in 2025, and the bonus episodes if I do them. But as a final farewell to you, I thought that I would bring in some holiday cheer and tell you guys about the time where I accidentally roasted my... Please, everybody remain calm, but I think I smell smoke, which can only mean one of two things. Either producer man is thinking too hard again, which we all know is not the case. I'm the brains behind this operation. Or it's time for a very special edition of Yeah Burnt. Now, I say it's a very special edition because I'm doing this for three reasons. One, producer man had no idea I was going to do this. I threw this in here and he doesn't really even look on the screen. He just stares at me and makes fun of me and makes faces at me and tries to make me break character, and it's not going to happen. Anyway, so he doesn't know I was going to do this. He loves this bit on Late Night with Seth Meyers. I love this bit. I love stealing the bit. But I'm also doing it because it's the last time I'm stealing something. Well, maybe my birthday episode. But it's the last time I'm stealing this bit from Seth Meyers, ever. When we come back in 2025, my goal is to have my own set of segments. I'm scrapping everything that I have up at to this point, and while some segments are coming back, and while it'll be the same type of stuff, I'm breaking everything down to less broad of a category. So that's my plan. Also, I'm doing this especially You Burnt, because I do want to bring a little Christmas cheer to you. I mean, we just talked about me being heavily depressed, and I need to lighten the mood somehow in order to say goodbye. And I know when I get ready to say goodbye for this show, because it's Producer Man's last one, I'm going to get emotional, and I don't want to do that yet. So why not try and make us laugh one more time before I have to get to that point? So, without further ado, welcome to the Burn Zone. We have a lot of topics to sizzle through, not a lot of time. Let's get going. First up, ornaments. Hey, ornaments, if I wanted to see some shaggy red balls hanging under a shaggy thicket, I'd go to the YMCA in the afternoon on a weekday. That's right, we're starting off with a political joke, people. But don't worry, it can only go up from here. You didn't laugh, so it was a Producer Man joke. Hey, ornaments, you know what I don't want hanging precariously off of a thin twig in a house full of 3 kids and a dog? Something that shatters. You want me to hang the world's thinnest orbs of glass at a toddler's eye level? Why don't I just paint Noel on some hand grenades and hang them on there instead? Also, you want me to rip a perfectly healthy tree out of the ground, and now you want me to desecrate the corpse by making it look like a stripper going to a bachelor party. I'm trying to spread holiday joy here, not start an OnlyFans. Not only are the store-bought ornaments horrid these days, but now I have to pretend like I like the monstrosities my nephews bring home from school. Oh, you made this with popsicle sticks and all the glue? Well, we're just going to have to put it right behind the tree next to the wall where your other monstrosities masterpieces are. Hey, ornaments! I must have left you too close to the menorah because you burnt. If I grab the right mouse, I'll click it. Advent calendars! Ah, yes, the Advent calendar, the least effective way of distributing candy since Halloween brought us door-to-door begging. If you want gifts before Christmas, do what Seth Meyers did and marry into a Jewish family. The great thing about the Advent calendar, though, is, if you think about it, once you give a child one piece of candy, they are completely satisfied for 24 hours. Seriously? Have you tried to give a child just one piece of candy? You need to buy at least 24 Advent calendars. But don't worry, the last piece you eat on December 24th, if you're wondering how fresh it'll be, just remember, it was made in April. You know what we really need? A Advent calendar that counts down to the day of the election when we're really calling for Jesus to help. And instead of candy in it, let's put Xanax. That would be so much better. Hey, Advent calendars! I totally blew that first one. You're in the fireplace, you burnt. Okay. Next up, mulled wine. Finally, an answer to the age-old question: what would happen if potpourri could get me fucked up? Excuse me. What would happen if potpourri could get me fucked up? Now, I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I am not a sommelier, but I was a server for over 20 years. And I do know that red wine is supposed to be served at room temperature, if not just slightly chilled, not scalding hot with pieces of mulch inside of it. And can you really call it a secret family recipe when all you really did was empty your entire spice cabinet into it? I mean, on the bright side, you got to use all the cloves Aunt Judy bought you for Christmas the year Bush Sr. was in office. But that's besides the point. Hey, mulled wine. Time to mull you over a little bit. You burnt. Caroling. Ah, yes. Sober karaoke available now for delivery. Not to mention they only sing songs from my Spotify that I already have selected on there. This is the real nightmare before Christmas. Just think, you're sitting at home watching a Christmas movie, you hear the doorbell and you think your food's there. You open the door only to find 12 of your strangest neighbors singing to you that Jesus Christ our Savior is born. I want my damn pizza. If a Jehovah's Witness went into the theater camp, hey carolers, do you know Silent Night? Not the song, the activity. Also, let me make something very clear. I will wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Easter, but I will not provide you with any figgy pudding. I don't have any figgy pudding. I don't know what figgy pudding is. I don't know where to get figgy pudding. Is it pudding for psychopaths? I don't know. Hey carolers! Sorry. Hey, carolers, go fa-la-la-la-luck yourself, you burnt. Giant carbos. I hate those commercials every year when you see them around this Christmas time. And they're giving, someone is wrapping, puts a big bow on a car for someone and gives it to them for Christmas. Come on, that never happens. I have never seen anyone give away a car with a big bow on it. Unless your name is Oprah Winfrey. But just hypothetically speaking, let's say that it does happen. Could you imagine your father outside trying to curl a giant ribbon with a giant pair of scissors, cussing so loud that the entire neighborhood can hear him? And let's be real, your dad can't keep a secret anyway. Also, let me get this gay. You want me to ask a fictitious demigod for a new car, and you're going to ask for a Kia Sorento? You don't give a Kia away with a gift bow, you give it away with a gift receipt. Hey, giant carbos, this is going to be the December you remember because you burnt. Elves. Hey, elves. I totally didn't scroll down. There we go. Hey, elves, I'm just going to say it. You getting played. You're doing, what, 200-hour work weeks, no vacations for, 3-4 centuries? You do all the hard work and all the fat man gets all the credit. Y'all need to stop it. You need to unionize or take Santa out at some point because enough is enough. I understand, and here at the show, I am very pro-labor. So is my entire staff. We all believe in fair labor, but I do not and will never support the elf on the shelf. You a snitch, bitch. You sitting around like a perv, creeping on little kids. I bet they give the pervy elves this job, kind of like when they move a priest around to a different parish. Hey, elves, better jump in the snow, because you burnt. Hey, malls. That's right, the Amazon.com of the 80s and 90s. Hey, kids, have you been to a mall recently? No? You're missing out, let me tell you. First, I got a new pair of sunglasses, but I didn't even get them in a store. I got them in a hut. And I didn't even have to pay for them. It was awesome. I waited 15 minutes. The employee didn't show up, so I just took them. Then I hopped in the fountain, got as many quarters as I could find, went into the arcade and played a Mortal Kombat until my fingers bled. Then I went by Lids and I bought myself a new hat. But on my way there, I stopped by Annie Ann's and did a little 5-finger discount with enough carbs to last an entire year. Now I know that you can get porn at the click of a button. Blah, blah, blah. But there's nothing better than going into Spencer's Gifts and heading over to the poster rack and having a full-fledged relationship with a bikini-clad model sprawled out on the hood of a Porsche. What? Oh, it's Porsche? Yeah, you're dumba. Anyway. This, back in the 80s and 90s, this was living. I remember you would tell your mom, hey, we're going to go to the mall and stay there for 3 or 4 hours, literally just walking around the mall. And for that reason and that reason alone, and because my generation was the best, I do have to say that that is why you are this week's Unburnable. Reese! Hey, Reese! I'm sorry, let me start that over. Reese! Oh, look, it's Christmas tree's crackhead cousin at the door again. Want to show people going by your place that you have the holiday spirit, but want to put in little to no effort in doing so? Try a wreath! Spend $50 on the shards and shreds of just real trees. It's like going to a pizza place and ordering just crust. What's the point of a wreath anyway? Is it to scare away other trees? I guess the good news is the stuff that falls off literally every time you open and close your door, you can just throw into your mulled wine. Double burn mulled wine. Hey, wreaths, I've been rethinking you, and you burnt. And now you're going to have to give me a minute, because why would I prepare ahead of time? I don't. Hey, Tiny Tim, listen here, you crutch-using son of a bitch. Oh, no! That sound means we're not only out of time for the segment, but for the show. You can't be perfect all the time. That's all I can say about that. But it was better than the last episode I posted. And like 20 minutes shorter. Awesome. Anyway. Tiny Tim, get off my screen. So, without further ado, I just want to say one quick thing. I'm serious. If you guys if you're interested and know about can help me learn how to produce a show, because Producer Man is, well, never showed me and he's fired. There's the show email address. Also, if you have something funny you think I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. As you can tell, I'm not putting my Twitter up here anymore. Just my TikTok, which I am going to start using more. I know I've said that before. But I want, starting in 2025, especially with the panels that I think that I'm going to try and get done, and the discussions and stuff, I want it to be more interactive. So I will be using TikTok more. Please comment below. Let me know what you guys think of anything that I talked about in the show today, especially the new alphabet song. Let me know what you think about it. My sister, who works in a daycare, refuses to use it, so let me know what you think. Comment below. If you have a moment, please like, subscribe, and get the notifications as I mentioned, because you never know when I will post another episode, because I don't know when I'm going to post them. Anyway, without further ado, get all of this off the screen. I hurried through it because there's one more thing I really want to do. And no, I'm not going to show you what Producer Man looks like. Sorry. Producer Man, thank you so much for being my friend, for being my producer, and nonchalantly being right about me doing this show. I will continue the show in your legacy and your name, and now that people know that this concept of the show was your idea, you will always be a part of the show. So before I get too emotional, until my birthday episode, everybody, except for Producer Man, until my birthday show and the little episodes that may pop up here and there, but until 2025, please stay safe. Stop that. I really need to get back in the groove of this. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay safe, stay healthy, stop the hate. But until then, that's all I'm saying.